Sleep issues. Most of us have them. Sleep is the one thing we all do, but nobody taught us how to. Welcome to the Rest Report, presented by Mattress Central. I'm Devin, your host, the curious sleeper who's tried it all.
And I'm Ryan, the sleep expert helping make sense of what actually works. If you wake up more tired than when you went to bed, like most of us, you're in the right place. On this episode, we asked ourselves the important question, why am I tired even when I get sleep? And we hope you enjoy.
Why am I tired even when I get sleep?
What if it's not just how long you sleep, but how well you sleep? What if your mattress is silently stealing your energy every night? This is the Rest Report, presented by Mattress Central, where we uncover the truth about sleep, one sleep issue at a time.
So, I might be in the minority of people, but instead of coffee in the morning, what gets me going is cold water in my face and on my head. And it's really the shock to the system that gets me going every morning.
Yeah, that cold water is basically telling our brain, hey, it's go time. And it is shocking the system in a good way. And if you actually got solid sleep, your body snaps into gear. But if you didn't, it's like hitting the gas in a car with no fuel. Nothing happens.
Exactly. And I do have to admit, when I am scrolling on my phone before I go to bed, probably the first thing I do when I turn my alarm off in the morning is scroll again.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Phones have a sneaky way of making everything feel urgent the second we wake up, and this puts our cortisol levels in threat mode. It's not just the blue light messing with our melatonin, it's the dopamine hit that keeps us stuck and scrolling, and before our feet even hit the floor, our brain's already in that threat mode. And when that's how our day starts, our stress hormones are basically on autopilot from the jump.
And when we're talking about morning routines, I think so many people have their morning routines, whether it's a morning shower or in the kitchen making coffee or checking your phone when you first wake up.
Yeah, totally. And the real kicker is that most people don't even realize the routine starts before they open their eyes. Like, the quality of our morning is truly determined by the quality of how we sleep at night. And our mattress plays a bigger role in that than people give it credit for. And we're all trying to get through the day, right? But when you wake up feeling like you're already behind, groggy, stiff, still tired, it's usually because your body didn't actually recover. So yeah, maybe the shower helps and the coffee masks it a little bit, but that morning fog is just our brain trying to reboot without enough charge.
And I've seen it so many times and heard it so many times when people tell me they need coffee in the morning so they can function.
Yeah, and I love coffee as much as the next person, but it's important to understand that coffee is a true coping mechanism and not a fix. And if you wake up groggy every morning, you probably don't have a coffee problem, you might have a sleep recovery problem.
So let's talk about the culture of exhaustion and the culture of hustle. When I hear hustle culture, I immediately think of work over everything else.
Yeah, that's something I see and hear about all the time too. People grinding themselves into the ground, living off of stimulants. But the reality of that is that type of lifestyle is robbing people of their health, their patience, probably even their happiness. It's like work has become all of our identities and sleep became an optional priority. But sleep is not optional, it's very essential, and you can't pour from an empty cup.
I mean, if I could have it my way, I would definitely choose sleep over work any time of the day. But what is hustle culture and how is it affecting our sleep health?
I think hustle culture pushes the idea that if you're not constantly producing, that you're falling behind. And ironically, bad sleep makes us less productive, less focused, more likely to feel burnt out. And that's a trap because sleep is often the first casualty.
And rest is almost seen as laziness rather than a necessity.
Yeah, and that's the big problem. Rest doesn't get the credit that it deserves. Real rest, deep and restorative sleep, is not laziness. It's the reset button that our body and brain need to fully show up the next day.
Like, the only way to get self-worth is through non-stop productivity and not seeing sleep as being productive.
Totally. But here's the truth: sleep is productive. And it's when your body repairs and your brain organizes thoughts and your emotions stabilize. And no matter how much you hustle, if your sleep is broken, we're just playing life on hard mode.
And a popular saying that I really don't like about hustle culture is, I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, that one drives me crazy, because if that's your motto, you're just speeding up the process. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to heart disease, anxiety, memory loss, and the list goes on.
So, what are some popular trends that you think are hurting more than they are helping our sleep?
I think one of the biggest is pulling all-nighters and wearing the exhaustion like it's some type of trophy. And let's not forget energy drinks at midnight, blue light before bed, and sleeping in on the weekends because we think it's going to make up for the sleep that we lost throughout the week. And actually, none of that works, and none of that helps us feel any better.
And I think that's something that just kind of leaks into our life from our childhood and being in college, the pulling all-nighters and staying up all night, energy drinks, and just having fun. And it kind of just leaks into our adult lives, I feel.
Yeah, no matter the reason, even if we slip up and stay up way too late or do any of the things that we just talked about, you'll truly feel it and pay for it the next day.
So, talking about staying up all night and scrolling on the phone, there are so many modern habits that really take a toll on how much we sleep at night.
Yeah, this one is too relatable for me. I think phones are our sleep's worst enemy. It's definitely my sleep's worst enemy. The late night scrolling might feel like me time, but it's really robbing us of that real recharge that our body needs. And it's our brain staying in alert mode and not wind down mode.
And I swear, before I had an iPhone, I was never checking notifications late at night. And now I have an internet rabbit hole of videos. I end up doing research on cave animals and deep sea animals that I never cared about until last night. And or an endless consumption of funny videos.
No, same here, pretty much. The pings, the dopamine hits, and the just one more video loop in our minds. We just keep scrolling. We've trained ourselves to stay awake instead of letting our bodies shut down naturally.
So, what would you say are some of the biggest enemies of sleep in our own homes?
Yeah, great question. Definitely screens, the wrong temperature, bad mattresses, stress, noise, even the wrong lighting. And honestly, most people don't even realize how many little things are stealing their rest. Like, you don't know what deep sleep feels like until you finally get it back.
And I know when it comes to me, my biggest issues when sleeping is almost always my bedroom temperature. I sleep hot already, so adding in a hot mattress and under a blanket, I would always wake up sweating.
No, yeah, it's a huge problem. Most people sleep better in a room around 65, 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you're sleeping hot, especially on a mattress that traps heat, your body can't stay in deep sleep cycles long enough. So you wake up more, start tossing, turning, and your body never fully resets.
And I love setting my room temperature low, but it always gets me. Nothing ruins good sleep like waking up every hour and sweating and having to shed layers of clothing.
No, exactly. It's like your sleep is under attack. And that's why I always say your mattress needs to breathe with you and not work against you.
So, how can some emotional stress or mental clutter get in the way of our sleep?
I think emotional overload's like one of the biggest blockers of quality sleep. So whether it's anxiety or overthinking tomorrow's to-do list or feeling like you can't catch up, it's your nervous system staying on high alert, and that makes falling or staying asleep just about impossible.
So I feel like that's something we can do now that can help fix our sleep, is just setting our mental right before we go to bed.
Yeah, sleep preparation, or like preparing to go to bed, is a skill, and I think it's a skill that probably all of us can improve on.
So next, I want to talk about what bad sleep actually does to us. And I think what bad sleep does to me is it starts with my back pain. And that makes me irritable and very narrowly focused. Like if you run into me at work and I'm irritable, like and it's super easy to be, irritated when you get narrowly focused.
Yeah, man, where do I start with this one? Bad sleep like chips away at every part of you. Your mood, your memory, your metabolism. We become more reactive, more forgetful, and way more likely to feel overwhelmed even by simple stuff. And I think sleep and pain can be directly connected. So when you don't sleep well, our body doesn't heal properly. So the pain lingers, and so can the stress.
So kind of talking about these things stacking up on each other, what is the concept of sleep debt and how does it accumulate?
Yeah, it's almost like a real metric. Sleep debt is like borrowing energy from tomorrow every single night, and that interest piles up fast. You can't fully catch up on sleep the way people think, especially not over the weekend. Every missed night and bad sleep and missed hours just adds to that deficit.
And I know to me, that big thing is procrastination. It takes a big toll on falling back on sleep. And if that's either house chores or something that has an expiration date, or when you're putting these things off, it stacks up quickly and it causes long nights and even early mornings sometimes.
No, absolutely. We tend to push our bedtime later and later, trying to finish the stuff that we didn't get to earlier. And that's the vicious cycle. So less sleep equals less energy equals more procrastination the next day.
So how can bad sleep affect our thinking and emotions, talking about long-term and short-term?
Yeah, in the short term, it makes our fuse much shorter and our daily focus and energy blurrier. In the long term, it can raise our risk for depression, anxiety, heart disease. Sleep is when our brain needs to reset, and without it, everything gets foggier and flat out worse.
So it sounds like making some of these like little changes in our lives, it can affect some of those big problems we have.
Yeah, and making the small changes, which are hugely important. And I'll double down on saying that sleep preparation is a skill, a learned skill that takes practice and repetition. Even if we feel like we don't have control over it, it's something that we can directly take control of and implement now.
And what it sounds like to me is this isn't going to cost any money. Like it's not something that we have to purchase. It's something we can change ourselves, I feel.
Yeah, it's just something that we have to be focused about. And yeah, it's not going to cost any money. It's something that we can change now. Doing the small things correctly, like not consuming caffeine before 5 p.m., putting down our phones and avoiding the scrolling, and going to sleep at the same time, a consistent time, and waking at a consistent time. Even just doing those three things, you'll feel a world of difference if you practice that and enable it now.
Well, I guess that would get rid of my excuse to, hit somebody,
Yeah, that won't be necessary if we actually do those things.
So now that we've covered our bad habits and what those habits actually do to our sleep, let's talk about fixing our sleep. Let's start with our mattress, our pillow, and the environment around us.
Yeah, I think this is where it gets exciting, because change is possible, and it starts with our foundation. Your bed is your recovery zone. It needs to support your spine, regulate temperature, and minimize your pressure points. So if you're waking up sore and tired, it's definitely time to change something.
So how does someone's sleep setup either restore or drain their health?
Maybe think of it like this: your sleep setup is either helping you or it's working against you. A bad mattress can disrupt our blood flow, overheat us, even throw our back out of alignment, and that adds up night after night.
So it sounds like to me that you can't really out-hustle the bad sleep, but you can outsmart it, sounds like.
No, exactly. We don't need another app or another supplement or more melatonin until we fix the basics, which is a supportive mattress, breathable bedding, the right pillow, a quiet room, and consistent habits every night.
So it sounds like people that are trying to fix these problems, they're trying to look everywhere else but right in the middle, like where the main problem is, I feel.
Yeah, We completely miss the mark by being distracted with the wrong solutions, or thinking that those things are actually solutions when it's actually right underneath of us.
So, how quickly could you see the results of having a new mattress setup?
Honestly, most people, or some people, probably feel the difference on the first night. Others, it's a few days or a couple weeks until the body decompresses, but nearly everyone tells me, I don't know how bad my sleep was until I felt what it should feel like and experience what true comfort actually feels like.
So, it kind of sounds like it's kind of up to us when that happens, but it sounds like just getting a new setup in general is going to be a big help in that.
Yeah, so once again, that's something we can take control of now. Although it may cost money, if we're waking up sore and tired, it will definitely be worth the investment.
So now that we've recognized and covered the sleep issues and the effect of those issues, let's talk about what we can do right now for these issues. I feel like there's some small changes that we can make that will have some pretty big effects on us the next morning.
Yeah, there's more good news. You don't need a total life overhaul to sleep better. Small smart tweaks will go a long way, starting with cutting screen time an hour before bed, dimming the lights, lowering the room temperature, and to swap scrolling for something calming like journaling or goals for the next day, stretching, deep breathing. Those things will make a huge difference.
So to our listeners out there who are listening to this, so what are some of the practical tips that we can implement today that help with our sleep?
I think one of the biggest and most important ones first would be setting a regular sleep and wake time, even on the weekends, regardless. Blocking out light, maybe with blackout curtains, using a fan or white noise for sound control. And more importantly, if your mattress is over 8 years old, sagging anywhere, it's probably time to change it.
See, because what it seems like to me is I feel like when people have full-time jobs or they have kids or other hobbies, they want to wind down at the end of the night with their TVs or their phones. But I feel like that stimulates their mind in the wrong way at the most important time.
Yeah, I totally understand that from personal experience. But I've realized that wind down time can actually keep your brain wired instead. So you've really got to train your brain to associate your bed with rest and not entertainment.
So how can we recognize what we need to change for better sleep?
I think we should start by asking ourselves, am I waking up tired? Am I waking up sore? Am I tossing and turning? If the answer is yes to all of those things, then your sleep probably isn't working for you right now, and you can change that. You can take complete control over that and make the necessary changes that can really turn your life in the right direction.
And now that we're wrapping this conversation up, we need to popularize the idea that being fully rested is something that we can actually brag about. It's like saying, I actually took care of myself last night.
Yeah, I truly couldn't agree more. Waking up refreshed is and should be the new power move. I think there's no badge of honor or bragging rights in feeling burnt out and not well rested.
And another thing, I want people to take bad sleep out of their box of excuses. Like, we live in a modern age where something as universal as bad sleep should be common knowledge by now.
Yeah, that's true too. Sleep is not out of our control. We live in a time where, if you think about it, the science, the tools, the AI, and the setups, everything is there. It's just about making the right choices to prioritize it.
And just how mental health is a well-known issue, I'd like sleep health to be like right next to it.
No, absolutely. Sleep health is not separate from mental health. It's in fact one of the foundations of it. Like, for example, how can you treat anxiety or depression while ignoring sleep? You can't.
And thank you again, Ryan, for having this conversation with me. I feel like a lot of people needed to hear this.
Yeah, certainly. I want to let people know that at Mattress Central in Fairmont, we can help you start your journey to a better night's sleep with no pressure, no judgment, just real honest help and unbiased information.
And if you fell asleep during this conversation, we'll take that as a compliment.
Exactly. We'll count it as a win for sleep advocacy.